Welcome to another episode of A Closer Look. I'm Donna Giroux, the Executive Director at CATV. And of course, in A Closer Look, we'd like to take a closer look at something that interests us in the Upper Valley. So today, happily, I am with Stacy King. And Stacy is the Education Counselor for the Educational Opportunity Center in the Vermont Student, Assistance Program.
That is indeed my job. Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk about what VSAC does and what we can do for the adult students in our area.
Cool. That's very important given the whole, the situation. We can let's talk about the background of VSAC so that people get a general overview of what kind of services you provide. I know there's many services, so anything you want to share with us.
Sure. Over 50 years ago, the Vermont legislature gave VSAC a mission to provide Vermonters with information and financial resources to meet their educational goals. And so over the years, we've grown, and now VSAC encompasses a scholarships department, a grants department, a loans department, and we also do research in the field of education and education access.
So it's a higher education help.
Yes, and it's education and training. So we don't want to leave out anyone who's looking for employment-based training. So we have resources for those students as well. And VSAC has 3 federal grants that are funding educational access. 2 of them are middle school and high school based, and I work in the adult educational access program, and that's called EOC. We just say for short, Educational Opportunity Center. And so
if I'm an adult, so let's talk, so here we are in a pandemic. It seems like a good time for people to rethink what they want to do. So why would this fall be an excellent time for adults to consider returning to learning?
That's a great question and a good point. This is a phenomenal time, not only because people may find that they are having to work remotely or having to stay home with their students, their children that are working remotely. And they may find that if they've been furloughed or laid off or have some time that they weren't expecting, that they may be able to take on some learning opportunities they didn't feel like they could fit into their schedule up until now. But also in terms of financial resources, there's actually money available to support students through the CARES Act, which was passed at the federal level, and the coronavirus relief funds, which came from the state level. And both are available to support students to enter some kind of education or training this fall. So students may find that this is the time they have the most financial aid they ever could have received.
Interesting. So I'm inundated. I've lost my job. My kids are in high school and they're pretty much self-sufficient. And I need to rethink my life. Would I go onto your website or do I call someone? And is it all about finances? You're helping me come up with the best financial solution?
No, but thank you for saying that. So we can actually do all kinds of discussions and conversations with people, from career exploration to figure out, okay, what am I interested in doing with my time? What are my skills and my abilities a good match with? And what's in demand right now? Who's hiring? What does it make sense to get training in? We can also explore different training options. So if somebody has an idea of the field they're interested in, but they don't know where they would get that training, or they're trying to decide between multiple training options, we can help them review those options and see what fits their lifestyle and their learning style, which ones are the most supportive for their particular circumstances. And then we do also bring in that financial piece to make sure it's affordable.
So you're what everyone always wanted their high school guidance counselor to be.
Sometimes that's what I describe to people. I say I'm kind of like your school counselor that you had in high school, except for I don't do any relationship type of advice. I can connect you with somebody if you need that. But yeah, we do career and training and education access counseling.
So it'd be worth just giving you a call or give somebody at your organization a call who will connect somebody with somebody so that you can explore ideas.
Absolutely. So our federal programs are meant to support students who are first generation, meaning their parents did not complete 4-year college degrees. and or modest income, which many of us will qualify for in these times for sure. But we also are available for talking to people who may not fit those particular criteria, but our primary services are meant for those populations. So the grant that I work under, 2/3 of our participants are first generation and or modest income. So, but our website also, as you said, has a wealth of resources for anybody to access at any point in time. Everything that we do is represented on the website, though maybe not in the same level of detail as if you were working with me one-on-one. And if people are interested in setting up one-on-one appointments, they can access us by calling the VSAC number, which I can give you. That's 877-961-4369. And they will get our outreach support staff who will find out where they are and who they'll match up our schedules to see who can have an appointment with you in your area.
That's convenient.
When I say in your area, it's not actually in your area right now due to COVID.
Yeah.
We're all working. There are 7 counselors in the EOC program, and we work throughout the state. And we're all working remotely doing phone or Zoom meetings.
Okay, so some of our audience is New Hampshire residents, so they should ignore this conversation because this is exclusively Vermont.
Those that we can enroll in our programs are exclusively Vermonters. However, much of the information that's on the VSAC website is excellent for learners no matter where they are. It has general information about choosing your program, choosing your career, what kinds of financial aid are available, but some of the specific work that we do in our grant is for Vermonters. Yes, I can only enroll Vermonters.
And when I go on there, I see that you have grants and scholarships, and it's actually a wealth of information if you're looking for financing. It
is, as well as some career and college exploration activities too. And you can click into the part that makes the most sense for you. One of the neat features on our newly designed or redesigned website is that if you scroll down a bit, you can pick the type of learner you are, such as I'm an adult learner, or I'm looking for loan information, or I'm a foster youth, for example, to find information specific to what might be more relevant to you.
Yeah, I saw there's things for vets. There's I like that whole adult learner. You can never get too much education.
No, and we want to be sure that people understand we're here to support whether you want to take one class or one training area, or if you are thinking about doing longer term and taking a degree program, that we can be here to help you regardless.
You do have something called the EOC Zoom Room Tuesday events. And I noticed that your website has a calendar, really nice calendar of events that you guys are putting on, which is super. So tell me about the Zoom rooms.
Absolutely. This is a new initiative that our team came up with about a month ago. This idea that we could do short 1 hour or less introductions to particular areas that people may have questions about, or that we felt like needed updates in our area. So for example, this past Tuesday, we did a session on the advancement grant. And this is a grant that's specific to the state of Vermont, and it's meant for training that will increase employability. So it could be for something like an LNA or a CDL, a truck driver's license, or taking the phlebotomy program that you talked about before. And it also can be used to take 1 or 2 classes and test it out to see if that's the right fit for you, if you want to continue on and do degree work. So we did a session on that, and we're going to continue doing sessions throughout. Right now, we're scheduled up through November on many, many different topics. So some of the ones coming up next Tuesday is about the impact of COVID-19 on financial aid. So they'll be getting into the specifics, how will that impact financial aid, and how do you access extra funds if you have been impacted by the pandemic. The 18th, we're going to do a general overview of financial aid options. So is the advancement grant the right fit for you, or should you maybe be pursuing degree financing, which would be through completing a federal form and a state degree grant application. And we'll talk about those. And on the 25th of this month, I'm actually going to work and do a Zoom room with Erin Weatherall, who is the CCV Upper Valley Academic Coordinator. Okay. And we're going to try to answer that question of where do I begin? So maybe I'm interested, what do I do? And so we'll talk about exploring a school, doing the application process, exploring financial aid, and let people know sort of like, where do you start if you are thinking about doing some kind of training?
Yeah, it's inundating. It's inundating for adults to, you don't want to have to take any pre-tests to get in. You don't want to have to, you just want to test the waters. And you talked about the advancement grant. Mm-hmm. If I tried a class, do you think I could get a grant to pay for that first class and to see whether, in other words, if I'm dipping my toe in the water?
Yeah, so you just want to take one and test it out type of idea. It's all income dependent. So it will depend upon your own income and your situation. And financial aid is a little odd in that it runs the prior tax year. So instead of asking for 2019 taxes, we actually ask for 2018 income information. And a lot of people are like, but that doesn't apply anymore. Right. And it's like, that's okay. What we do is help people submit the 2018 and then appeal. And there are a lot of appeal options. That's actually one of the topics that the session on the impact of COVID-19 will cover on Tuesday, because there are many people who need to appeal for estimated 2020 income. And we can work with people to help them do that process. It can be overwhelming. There's a lot of paperwork often with, you may have to give to your college and paperwork to give to VSAC for your advancement grant, and maybe paperwork for other organizations that you're going to work with. But that's one of the things that we tend to, people tend to turn to us for, is sort of managing like all of those aspects of what do I need to do to get to where I want to go.
That's good. It becomes, you can make it a game as long as there's somebody helping you. Yeah, right. Sometimes you just need help,
it can be guidance. Overwhelming. Yeah. And we're going to do, some of our Zoom rooms will be for specific populations like we talked about earlier. So we have a plan to do a veteran-specific Zoom room, and then one for foster youth and the resources that are available to the foster youth population. So we're hoping that different people can tune into as many or as few of the Zoom rooms as they want to, and they're accessible through the calendar, the VSAC events calendar that they can find on vsac.org.
So let me ask you though, Stace. So I go to your website, I look at the calendar, I go, ooh, that looks interesting and that looks interesting. Do I have to reserve, or can I just link in?
You can just link right in.
Okay. And what happens if I miss the meeting? Oh, I missed it. My favorite episode of Friends was on. I got distracted.
Sure.
So are they going to be recorded that somebody could access through your website later on?
Yes, they are going to be recorded, and the two that we have done already have been recorded, and they should be up on our website soon. They are not there yet, but we're in that process. Meanwhile, if someone is looking for one of those topics, they can email myself or VSAC, and we can send the recording to them.
And I believe CATV is also going to be airing those. We have to figure out a good...
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, we got to figure out a slot for education so people could come back weekly. And
perfect.
Yeah, just distributing it's a different audience. That's all. You'll be distributing to different people. Yeah. Okay. So I feel loved because you guys are supporting me with my stupid questions. I feel
No, there are no stupid questions, Donna.
There are. No. Okay. So you'll help us babysit us into success.
I wouldn't even say it's babysitting. We are lucky enough to be able to work with our participants and tap into the resources they already have. They just might not know what the next step is. So definitely, I feel like I learned so much from the people that I work with that I'm not babysitting.
Good. You're creating opportunities.
Absolutely, and we do it as a partnership with our participants. They're great.
And also, I imagine then you're, as an organization, I know our organization, we take our role very seriously, and we try to influence policy. We have both federal and state issues that we're always trying to influence. So I imagine that there's some of that going on with your organization.
There is, because we are lucky enough to be the financial aid resource of the state. We also have an amazing research team that every year does, or every other year, does a senior survey for the Vermont high school senior class, which helps the state know what plans are, what the aspirations are for the seniors, how many think that they're going to go to college, how many think they're going to go into the workforce. We also have done research on what people have used the advancement grant for and whether that increased employability, which I'll give you the short answer is yes, absolutely.
Good.
And we're doing a lot of work also to figure out how do we support post-secondary attainment in a population that's demographically shrinking. So we have fewer younger people. And one of the beauties of that is the work that we do with adults, that we have a large population of adults in Vermont that can upskill or go back to school or get an increase in their credential and turn that into a better paycheck and hopefully, other aspects of increased success with that.
Personal life satisfaction.
Personal life satisfaction, that's one of them.
Right.
Employability, less likelihood of being laid off. Like all of those things increase. All of those things get better as you credential up. And we have been also lucky to partner with Advance Vermont, which is doing work on increasing the level of credentialing in Vermont with the goal of obtaining 70% of credentialed Vermonters by the year 2025.
Wow, that's pretty ambitious.
It is ambitious, yes.
So I like the expression credential up. Because we reinvent ourselves many times. I'm old, so I've had many professions and they seem to always link into the next profession,
they
right?
Do.
As you gain experience.
They do, and a lot of people are bringing really great skills from their previous experience into their learning experience, and they don't realize sometimes that they're actually very well set up for success. Adults have learned a lot often before they decide to return to learning, and that can mean that you're ready for the study skills, you're ready for the commitment and the responsibility sometimes of taking on those trainings. So we really we absolutely love working with adults, and we're hoping that as many people who watch and see your program will think, oh, I did want to go back and get that one class, or, I've thought about switching and maybe I want to be an LNA now, or, I've found something else that I really want to explore. We want to encourage them to do that.
I think that's amazing because honestly, I think learning is, I hate to say it's fundamental, but it really is important in keeping your brain active. So from that alone, not even to get you more money, but to make you happier, I think you tend to be better if you're well educated.
And I will say many people do look to us for some advice on the financial side of things, because we have, just in our team of 7 people, we have a couple hundred years of experience in this field, which is really exciting. And we are more aware of the many different ways that you can access funding from your employer, from Department of Labor and other workforce training funds, tapping into the state and the federal systems to get support, and working with your institution. So I will say that is often something that people are looking for, is like, how can you tell me how much money I would get if I were to go to take a class? And we absolutely can work with you to do that. Or can you tell me, like, how do I figure out which of these 2 programs is more affordable in the long run?
Yeah, the bottom line is you don't want to be burdened by the yoke of financial burden.
Yes, and as a nonprofit, we definitely are looking for the best interests of our students and our participants at all times.
Right. So you're not just the front of the government. You are really looking out after their interests.
Yes, very much.
That cannot be stressed enough. How clever is Vermont that they have this organization, right?
I think we're, And Vermont rocks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So just to the viewer, I highly recommend that if you're even remotely thinking about or dreaming about an educational change or credentialing up, please go to vsac.org. There really is a huge amount of information that is encouraging, and do not get inundated by all the options, because you have people such as Stacy King who will talk you through it.
Okay? Absolutely. And in our area, people are more than welcome to reach out to me by email. So it's just my last name, King, King, at vsac.org.
So vsac.org. So just tell me, what time are the Zoom rooms happening?
Excellent. Yes, Zoom rooms are every Tuesday at 10 a.m.
So at 10 a.m. I can
Eastern
go
time.
onto your, Eastern time, Vermont time. So I can go onto your website and click into the calendar and participate.
And join.
Yeah, just
absolutely.
watch.
If you haven't downloaded Zoom in a while, you may want to go in a little early because Zoom tends to update frequently. So it may not let you in right away. But yes, and if you don't make it, absolutely, we are going to record them. And we haven't, I don't know where those live yet on the website, but they will be up soon.
Okay. All right. That's great. And so that information is timely and sort of in keeping with whatever's going up with the pandemic and virtual learning and grants.
Yes, absolutely.
Super. I really appreciate you taking the time, because we want our population to be happy and educated and credentialed up, as you say.
Yes, excellent. Thank you so much for giving me this time. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, it's nice meeting you, Stacy. All right. To all our viewers, you're welcome to host an episode of Closer Look. Just contact me so that we can get you set up, and we'd love to hear from you. Have a nice day.